Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome one more time to DeFi Daily. Today I bring you a very special video because this time we're going to be doing a collaboration with Professor Crypto Banana. And I love this guy. He has an amazing channel. And actually, I will leave the link to his channel in the description of this video. And here in the top right corner, you can see his latest video. So definitely go check out his channel. He is one of the guys that I think is bringing and top quality content around decentralized finance. Said that, let's go directly to the video. It's going to be a discussion, a chat. We're going to talk about our opinion of the decentralized finance ecosystem, YouTube, quality content, Abracadabra, a lot of topics that we're going to be covering. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel, that you also hit the like button so that we can have a community that continues growing. Thank you very much, guys. I'm also going to leave the timestamps of the video in case you want to jump into a specific topic that it's more of your interest. And therefore, guys, just enjoy it. Here goes the video.
What's going on, everybody? This is Professor Crypto Banana. I'm also here with DeFi Daily, and we're just going to have like a round table discussion. We're going to talk about man, if you're a newbie or even if you're an expert, kind of what we're seeing out there in YouTube land in terms of what they're trying to explain about like shilling and moon boys and everything is and then also kind of like where we see in terms of just like YouTube channels, like kind of lower subscribers, but just man, what we want the audience to get out of this. We want to make it like fun, easy, bring out like different education, because you know why? On the DeFi side, we think that this is important. There's a lot of things going on out here. Maybe it's not as sexy as some of the like meme coins, and maybe you feel that you missed out on certain other crypto tokens. However, the fact that DeFi is a major thing and it's potentially worth understanding, we don't want it to be boring. We want it to be fun. We want to bring in like a lot of other people, and we got a lot of big ideas around it. So before we get started, we got to let you know, we got to hit you with that disclaimer. You know how it is. We are not financial advisors. This is not financial advice. Anything in this video is just for educational and entertainment purposes only, right? Why else would you be here? We are not crypto experts. However, we are definitely learning. We're loving it. What we say could be inaccurate. We could be missing out on something. However, we're just sharing all the information that we know. So it's always a good idea to do your own research and just investigate a lot more, double check, and keep in mind that this is risky with anything, with any high rewards. There's always a lot of risk, so always keep that in mind. But with that being said, let's get started here. So DeFi Daily, I want to get your opinions on this, because my opinion is with a lot, if you're a newbie coming into the space, and there are certain experts and it's overwhelming, you go, whoa, okay, I don't know what's going on here. There's a lot to pick up, right? And then you're seeing like people that are suggesting, oh, this is going to go 100x. It's just like a lottery system. And at first it seems cool, but then it's a little bit skeptical. Then you also see more of the experts, the big followings, but they're maybe cashing in on their audience. They're shilling, they're trying to, collect money and pump their own bags. And then you lose that sense of trust. And for me, I think that like for newbies coming in, they want to understand certain things, but they feel lost. They're scared to ask. They see these experts, people happen to like know, and they've been in the scene for 6 years. And where does a new person really start between the mess of maybe shillers and moon boys? So this is just my perspective, but I want to get your thoughts on that.
I gotta agree with you in a lot of the things that you just mentioned, Prof. I think there's a lot of people that is just entering into this space, and they are just either looking at these big shillers, big mooners, or reading a Medium article that it's impossible to understand. I don't know if it happens to you, but sometimes I'm researching a new project, I go to their Medium article, I'm reading it, and I'm like, what is this? I don't understand. So, if I have some experience and I am still not able to understand it, how are we expecting people that have never heard about some of these concepts like liquidity pool or staking or farming be able to understand what they're getting into? So I think that's exactly where there is the need of people bringing quality, digestible content. And I guess there's where we're trying to also position ourselves, right? This is all about community. Decentralized finance, it's about community, projects helping each others, YouTubers helping each other, and I think that's at least my ideal for what I'm trying to build, and hopefully we are all trying to build together. Help decentralized finance be more digestible and easier to understand.
Yeah, and to your point, they're just there's certain terminology that just gets thrown around because you know once you get in it for a while you kind of understand, but there's such terms like LP tokens, EVM compatible, impermanent loss, and just on-chain metrics, and it's illiquid, centralized exchange, decentralized exchange, some things that you just take for granted. But if you're a newbie, you're not gonna know. And I think as you said about like different channels coming together, working and making it be digestible, I would even venture to say, if you're watching this video and you are a newbie and you're like, okay, well now they're trying to like say, okay, look at what we're going to be doing. If you find something that's better, watch it. Like our main goal as just like YouTubers is just we want you to do better. We want you to know, to be educated, because we're just passionate about it. We want it to be fun. We want it to be easy to understand, and we want just to bring in the community. We don't care if you're necessarily looking at the projects. We don't necessarily care if you understand, fully what we're getting. I don't know about on your channel, but on my channel, I say, take a look at these resources. These guys said it even better than I did. And if you think like they're better, stick with it. Like it's not like a zero-sum game where, okay, only this channel, that's only the one that you watch. No, watch all of them. If you find something better, watch it. I don't care. Like, in fact, let me know. Maybe, we can watch. But in general, my main focus, and I'm sure that's also the same for you, is just help people learn, because we're just so passionate, exciting, and the opportunity and innovation is there. And when you see people that have that, you can't hide it. They're authentic, they're genuine, they are passionate, they back up their community, and I think that is something that even from a YouTube side has a lot of potential for people that are in there. So as opposed to the Moon Boys and the Shillers, I potentially think that they're missing out on that mindset, and that is something that, just taking steps forward, how can we help community? How can we help newbies? This is a prime opportunity to do that, and some ideas that we do have for that.
I fully agree with you once again. I'm constantly navigating and researching and trying to find new channels, because that's the way I learn, right? So if that's the way I learn, I think that's what we need to encourage for newbies to actually navigate the space. I also always recommend resources. When I'm making a video, I always say, hey, go check out, Taki Maeda. He has an amazing spreadsheet that you can use to manage your yield farms, right? Or go check out this video, because I'm also learning from others. So I think that's the sense of community that we need to bring, and make sure that people can constantly navigate from one channel to another in order to get the complete information and learn more. So I fully agree with you.
Let's say we got two different extremes, right? We got, let's say, the Bitcoin maximalists. They were in early. They made their bags. They made their money. I'm like, like 2-3x, it would be extremely nice, but it's not life-changing money. It definitely does change a lot in my financial situation, but I think other people are in it as well, like saying, I want to actually see that a lot of money is going to be flowing into this asset class of crypto. I'm really bullish on the innovation, why it has utility, but I need bigger gains. And however, there's a lot of middle ground here on research that I'd have to do. But then guess what? There's something super easy over here where I got like meme coins. I got people saying it's going up, 100x. This is where I think I need to be in terms of time. And it's like, everything has its place and is very beneficial, and I want everybody to win. However, I'm more in that middle ground personally. I'm looking at where the innovation is happening with the decentralized finance, with how you can put those funds in and do something with it. I'm looking at gaming cryptos, because I think that's going to be huge. I come from a gaming background. I understand that. I think that's going to be huge. Even like now with like music NFTs and how you can get royalties, and how that's disrupting, where musicians no longer have to go to record label companies. They can actually go to the consumers themselves and say, hey, here you go. And then this is like a complete swap from where you can talk to just family members, friends, and they say, oh, you're in that crypto, oh, that's a Ponzi scheme. It's like, no, the innovation here is huge. But then just to even bridge normal people who are not in the space to say, okay, make that leap of faith and understand crypto has a lot of utility to it. And then like imagine having your grandma just trying to buy crypto. It's like, holy crap. And then imagine trying to explain DeFi. It's not realistic, but there are certain people that are willing to put in the time that can bridge over that traditional finance and say, whoa, what's happening here on the DeFi side is amazing. And like later on, we can discuss like the interest rates you're getting at a bank. I want to cry. I did this earlier. We pulled up a quick screenshot. I got one for us here, but oh my gosh. But such potential. But go ahead. I've been going on a ramble here.
No. I truly appreciate to hear your point, and I think it would be great if you can bring up for the people that is watching this some of the resources, right? So that comparison between the first of all, you mentioned a very interesting element that was the passive income, the APR, APY. I mean, I don't know if everyone here is familiar with those concepts, but the magic of compound interest, it's amazing. So I think that's part of the overall strategy that you were talking about. When people realize that whenever you have $100, then you make $1 profit, then you have 101, and then you get every time you're going to be earning more and more money, and you continue reinvesting. That's the magic of the compound interest. So I know there is a resource, the APR to APY calculator. There you go.
Yeah, and the calculator itself doesn't even understand. Like, you type in 1%, just in this example right here that you saw me do. I typed in 1% APR daily. That means you get 100, you put in $100. Now, granted, be aware there is risk, right? Because if anybody says this is risk-free, that's not true. Because with anything that is risky, there's rewards. Otherwise, it wouldn't be that lucrative. So be aware, always educate yourself. And that's also another thing, is educate where are the pitfalls, what is your risk reward, and what you're looking to get out of this. But if done correctly, has amazing opportunity here. So like, let's say we are doing APR and APY. And why is this such a big deal? Because it's just one letter difference. It's the concept that you get, let's say, $1, you put in $100 and you get $1 every single day back as a reward, saying thank you fam for providing this money, so then the system can work and how it can operate. Cool. So you get $1 every single day, and you take that dollar and you go out to the grocery store, you buy yourself a chocolate bar, you do whatever you want with it. Okay, so then over the course of 100 days, you just made your money back. Awesome. You made all your money back and you still got something that's producing you rewards. That's amazing. All right. But now let's flip that, where instead of buying that chocolate bar, you say, nah, I got diabetes. That's not for me. I can't do that. Professor, I got to put this dollar, I'm going to put this dollar back into the 100 because, oh my God, I think this will make massive, massive gains. Okay. So then at first it's 101. You still get $1 and maybe a penny. Right. But then what happens is, as the time progresses, at the tail end of the spectrum, the end, that is where insane gains are made. And with this APR that we're seeing in decentralized finance, it's already mind-blowing. So using the documentation from Wonderland as an example, they have a great chart that shows 2% compounded daily, meaning you take that dollar reward, you put it back in, and you still get like a 1% reward back, and you could put it back in. That's called APY. And then when you look at the end, this is insane. Now, something else that's a little bit easier to understand is when you talk about 401ks here in the US, I'm not sure if it's in other places, but the concept that, hey, if you want a retirement, put money into the stock market, and the sooner that you do it, the better it is for you, especially at the beginning. Why is that? It's because you jumpstart that so that at the tail end, it's much more. Very confusing, but you know what? Let me just do a quick example here, because I love showing this. So constructed this Excel spreadsheet just super quick on the fly that shows a compounding rate of 2%. Now, is everything going to be 2%? Maybe not. There are certain projects that are, so definitely do your research on that, because sometimes there are some sketchy projects that offer insane APR to get you hooked, to get you in, and then it's a rug pull. So definitely be cautious about it. But there are some projects that are legit, even to right now, that's essentially giving out 2% APR every single day. So the APY is insane. So we're like 17,000% APY. How's that possible? Let's go over that. So, starting fun. We a little bougie over here, right? DeFi and I, we managed to get $1,000 in that bank account. Had to ask around, but we got 1,000, and we say, yes, this is going to be amazing. 2%. So, day 2, got another $20. And now it's a constant rate of growing. 22, then probably gets up to like 24, etc. And what you can see is that after how many days would it take to double your money? Double your money. Roughly 36 days. And to show the power of it, because I showed the slide, right, where it's like, whoa, that tail end is just insane right here. Well, how can that be represented? So in order to double our money, it took 36 days. So I'll just highlight it, bold it, do whatever. It doesn't matter, because now I'm going to be looking at where's 4,000. So how long did it take to double our double? another 36 days. So I'm starting to see a trend here. Let's say we go 100 days. We're already at 100 days. My bad. We're at 150. We're already rocking about 20,000. We started with 1,000 and we did a 20x in a matter of half a year due to the power of auto compounding. Even to here, 365,000, and we're not even at a year yet, just due to 2% auto compounding. Again, that's not where you take your funds, your money, and you go to the chocolate, go to the chocolate store, get yourself something. This is you constantly putting it back in. To be financially responsible, I don't know. Again, not financial advice. I personally like taking certain money off the table. There's going to be bear bull markets, etc. So it's a lot of fluctuation. But when you hear 2% APR, it doesn't seem like a lot, but hopefully this representation shows this is really attractive. And I think this is where a lot of big whales, they do LP tokens and they know how to do certain places on how to get rewards. Now the rewards are getting even better due for certain reasons. This is why we'll talk about the projects from Daniele and Popsicle Finance. So they're looking to optimize the yields and get better stuff. So we're here like optimization, yields, cross chain. What's the big deal? The big deal is that you have a certain asset, like you put up certain money and you're getting rewards back. That is just building up, and they're finding better ways to get better rewards for you to make your money work. And then what you do with that is up to you. You can always take that money, can put it to somewhere else. You can always reinvest. You can do it into different projects.
Yeah.
So, anyways, let's hear your thoughts, DeFi Daily, because man, that's the name of your channel, DeFi Daily. So
no, I love having you here, Prof. I love the power and the energy that you put into this, and I really like that explanation. I think that Excel is self-descriptive on the power of compound interest. I think you had over there in one of your tabs what banks are paying nowadays on a yearly basis. So I think just to wrap up, around this topic, I think what it's very, very, there you go. I mean, 0.60% in a year.
APY.
Yeah.
APY, which is probably the equivalent of APR, but
I mean, it's ridiculous, right? So I think at the end, what we were trying to say is that it's going to be almost the same exactly. What I'm just trying to say here is that I believe there's so many opportunities in the DeFi world in comparison to the opportunities out there in the traditional banking, the traditional finance space. I mean, you have their green finance is just an example, right? But I think it is just amazing on the possibilities. I don't know if you can maybe filter by the stable coins, for example, just to make it a little bit, because of course, if you put there you go, stable coins.
Just here.
There you go. It's 0.24% daily. So 1/3 of what a bank is paying you in a year, you're getting here in a day. So I think there's no more words.
Also, is the fact that we heard of DeFi last year and probably this year. I just got into the space a few months ago, so I'm taking on from that newcomer's perspective. But what could you tell the audience about, let's say, Ethereum gas fees and then trying to be, doing LP tokens as comparison to now where we're seeing a lot of blockchains that are able to bridge on over and the low gas fees?
That's exactly what Abracadabra and these guys are doing, right? They are bridging ecosystems. They are making that, there you go, Abracadabra money. They are making assets available across different networks. So you, for example, can have your spell in Ethereum and you can generate meme in Ethereum, and then you can send those meme into Phantom, and then you can do a strategy in Phantom, and with the profits you can go back to AVAX, right? AVAX, and in AVAX you can generate a different strategy. So yeah, I mean, Ethereum, very high fees. Nevertheless, by creating these bridges, you're going to be able to take advantage of each and every single protocol. And I think that's the strength of Abracadabra and what Daniele and his team are building. I mean, that's amazing, right? Borrow fee of 0.05%. I don't know. There's no bank that will charge you that for borrowing money, right? So I have actually a strategy in my channel in which I do a strategy in which you invest your Phantom in Yearn Finance. You get a yield-bearing asset. Then you invest the yield-bearing asset. So you're actually borrowing meme in exchange of a yield-bearing asset that you have paying you an interest already in Yearn Finance. So it's just amazing the power of the strategies. And I think to your point, yeah, you have the interest there that is 3.5% per year. So that's the actual cost of borrowing the money every year, and then you have a small fee. But I mean, we just saw the potential. For example, Reaper Finance. If you get your meme that costs you 3.5% a year, and you invest it at a 100 and what was it, 120% per year. I mean, you're making what 117% interest difference, right? So it's amazing.
Yeah, and just being on the other side, just listening here, what terms did we chuck down? We chucked down MIM, yield bearing asset, a lot of percentages numbers. Somebody on the outside probably just listened to that, was like, okay, I see the power, I don't understand it. And people, they you have to use the terms and understand it, but not a lot of people are kind of like breaking it down, simply saying, listen, the power of this, like translation, throw this screenshot out the window, is the idea that you're getting rewarded to give up your funds, right?
Yep.
So if you want to like back, you want to fund the Phantom and get auto compounding, you are getting rewards that auto compound on its own. Daniele's project is now allowing it so that instead of just holding on to something that's gaining in value and doing nothing with it, he's providing a few more extra options here. You can borrow money against it, and then what you put in right here, let's say it's your Wrapped Phantom. Well, in this case, it's probably maybe not a yield-bearing asset, but if you do it in Urgency, it's already just even trying to give a simplified explanation, you can understand the level of complexity that goes up. But the idea is that you put in something that is making you money and you're getting rewards. You can deposit into Abracadabra. Think of it as a bank, decentralized bank. And what happens is then you can borrow against it, which is MIM, which is just a stable coin, which is another term to say is just money. It's $1, and it's providing now the opportunity to send that not only to different chains that you like. Maybe you got a friend over there that's talking about Avalanche and Trader Joe. He's like, yo, this is amazing stuff. I'm like, oh, I do want some exposure to that. What about on the Phantom side? Because your sister's like, look at the rates over here. You're like, okay, I want to get in there. And then you got like your older brother that's like, yo, man, it's going to be a bear market. Okay, well then just do some stable coins out there on, let's say you're a little bit of a bigger whale on Ethereum and get some rates on there. Or there's an NFT project coming out because your bro's like, oh, you gotta check out this one ape that goes to the moon that does a dancing jigsaw puzzle when you put your number 6 on some, I don't even know. You get the idea. Or you can just even take it as a loan for yourself and put in the cash because you're saying, I need to play some safe. I need to take out some money. So the opportunities here are immense. And it's one of those things where there's something kind of like a box and that's how it operates. And then all you do is you add on 1 or 2 little things and it changes the amount of opportunities for that person in ways that is unimaginable. And then as a result, what's going to happen is you're going to hear people talking a lot about rates, a lot of people talking about strategies, as you just mentioned. Like, okay, I got this one strategy where I put it here and I put it there, and then I'm getting certain rewards and stuff. And that is what's bringing up the hype, is the fact that, as opposed to the traditional finance that we just talked about, like 0.6%, you're like, ugh. Here, with the amount of rewards that's just auto compounding and getting bigger, it is so exciting. You're seeing people very passionate. And the fact that Daniele, I assume that he could be pocketing the profits, or his whatever, or DAO organization, whatever it could be taking in those profits. But rather, you're seeing him being more generous and saying, okay, we will reward the stakeholders, such as people who own the Spell token. They're the one that get like the extra income from it. So we're just going to straight give it to them. We're getting a lot of rewards. We're going to pop it over here, look at Popsicle Finance, etc. And it makes you think, how? But in the traditional world, this wasn't possible. Yeah, maybe back in the day I could get 15%, but over here, is it too good to be true? But I'm personally suspecting, I'm trying to work this out. I think it's because they're not being greedy with the profits, but rather sharing it and saying, like, this is an environment. Okay, liquidation, or not liquidation. Liquidity is a major thing. Liquidity being, hey, other chains, other decentralized exchanges need this capital, this funds, this money in order to operate, and they're willing to give out extra rewards for it. And they're being generous and giving it to the people that are doing it to such an extent that when you look at it, it's kind of like a person that went through like a ton of trauma. I'm not a mental therapist expert at all, but I imagine like somebody that went through a lot of trauma, and you're like, and then they give you something that looks really tempting. You're like, no, I've been burned by this before. This isn't, no, this is too good to be true. But then it's like, well, is it? and that's why I think people are working out and they're just kind of like putting their toes in it once they do, and then they get some like positive feedback loop. They keep going out. Is there risk? Yes, always be aware of the risk and everything. But as long as there's education and content out there, going out there talking about it, and it allows people to then make a decision for themselves, which is something that they never even had that opportunity to begin with.
Yeah.
And I think that is something that is extremely, extremely important.
Yeah, and I think you brought a very interesting point, and one is about the grid. I think, Daniele and his team, they are definitely not greedy. They are building just an amazing ecosystem in which they are sharing the profits with the people. So they're building the system for the people. And I think there is an element in which you also said why banks do not do this, right? You're talking about legacy infrastructure and costs. So, I mean, I'm not going to get too much into details there, right? But the banking industry at the end, there's a ton of costs that have been built on top of it. And here we're talking about, these decentralized ecosystems that, people have been able to build them in a very lean way. There's no cost behind. So at the end, all the profit that is being generated is just shared across the users, right? Instead of having to pay for, this huge amount of costs that exist in the traditional financial industry and banking industry overall, right?
Yeah, and that's a great point, because there's the old legacy thing. So you'll talk to certain people that run the banking code and they go, "Oh gosh, it's COBOL or Fortran, some sort of coding language nobody knows, and they got to pay a lot of money. The system's old. You don't want to break it, and they're not necessarily. I don't know how to like rewrite it, how to do it. I'm not even sure. So just the whole idea about crypto and how it changes the banks and the industry is the fact that it's way cheaper and that you can always just send it to somebody else without asking for their permission and be like, here you go, boom, done almost instantly. Okay, that's really cool. Way less fees, hopefully. I mean, maybe there are certain, when it comes to Bitcoin, maybe there's some fees for it, Ethereum, so then you gotta like do a risk reward. But when you, let's say, look at a credit card, it takes a long time for that transaction to go through. Like maybe they just like pre-approve it and kind of do some magic behind there. But ultimately, I'll look at a bank statement and be like, has this processed yet? What if I want to refund it? What if you want to send money somewhere else? It just takes forever. There's fees. There's like 2% fees on everything. And they're if you're the gatekeeper of the funds and all the money that keeps on flowing through back and forth, and you get like 10% or you get 2%. Man, that is incredible money. So when you shift over to DeFi, and then like certain other people can, get a little bit of rewards here and there and collect that and goes to the people, I think that is really, really cool. And it just shifts it from like the major top whales on the traditional finance side, flipped it. So now on the DeFi side, it incentivizes people to get in on this and do this. So, and then what I think will inevitably happen is there are going to be people who start in early and then they make a ton, and then they're the whales, and then they get to maneuver and position themselves, and then people that are just getting in years and years down the line are going to be stating, hey, how come I can't do that because y'all are at the top? And it's kind of like a pyramid that just naturally happens. But with this being so fresh, this is at least an opportunity for newer people that are getting in right now to say like, whoa, in 3 years or in a certain amount of time frame, I can be kind of that bigger whale and maneuver and position myself and have more opportunity in this space.
Yeah, it's all about opportunities, and that's the amazing element of decentralized finance, the DAOs, right? Giving the people the power to vote on how the protocol is going to evolve. That's what I love about it, right? You're owning a token, and that gives you power to take decisions in terms of where the project is going to be, where the project is going to go. So it's just amazing. I agree with you, Prof. I think we are at the right time, in the right place, in my opinion. Again, this is not financial advice. We are not experts. We are just sharing our point of view. But I think what I see is very obvious, and I see a lot of room for growth and opportunities just unfolding in this decentralized finance world.
And maybe to wrap up the video here so we don't go too far here, but looking at YouTube, I think there's a lot of people that are either experts or people that are shilling moon boys, right? And we were discussing about being in the middle. And we're not experts, as you just stated, but that's a key point. I don't think there's a lot of people that are necessarily documenting and progressing and showing like, okay, these are the mistakes that I made. This is what I'm looking at. This is my, interest, because perhaps it's the idea that, well, who would listen to me? And, this is why I got into the space. I don't know necessarily a lot, but I want to share with people, and I'll be transparent as much as I can be and say, this is the mistakes that I made. I messed up. Please don't do the same thing. I'm not an expert, because what would be the opposite? I could always say like, well, I'm not an expert. People aren't going to listen to me. They're going to be like, go straight to the expert. So that's why we do the opposite, where I say, these are the resources I'm looking at. Double check my work. This is where I think it's going. Hey, take it from the perspective of somebody that's just maybe a few steps ahead. I will give you that information. And I think, we're discussing a great point of what we can do to help out in terms of in future videos and channels, do like DeFi nights or something where we have like a roundtable discussion where we have different people, everybody just come in, some that are experts, some that are newbies, just like discuss what's going on, get the community to say, what do you guys want us to discuss, and go forward. And it doesn't matter, who gets the video uploaded or who's talking. It's like, man, if we could just like get even more people, like even more experts in the field, and say, hey, can you break this down to us? Okay, we're maybe at the intermediate level. This is what we're thinking about. What if you're a newbie? What on an expert level, what are some questions? And I just think that there's so much potential, not only for the educational side and how to get like more people interested and have that opportunity, but on the crypto side as well, especially with DeFi and all the different areas that are happening as well.
I love it. I agree with you. I think that's kind of the way we I think that's the way we're thinking about really helping and giving back to the community. We're definitely gonna start preparing something. I don't want to disclose too much, right? Because we're still working on it and looking for the best option. But it would be amazing if we can bring people just on a conversation and have everyone sharing their own experience, their mistakes, their learnings, so that yeah, people that are maybe newer to this space can avoid making maybe those mistakes, right? I think that's where we all want to go. And to your point, to just help on this or help building this and drive this adoption, which is necessary for the decentralized finance world to keep on increasing. So let's do that. Let's do that, Prof.
All right, I'm down. Let me know how I can help out.
Sounds perfect. Okay, cool. I think we're going to wrap up. Thank you very much again to everyone for watching the video, to take the time to listen to these two crazy guys. I hope there's some learnings that you guys could also pick up from this conversation, and looking forward to making more videos with you, Prof.
I'm looking forward to it. Sounds good.
Have a nice day.
Pieces, guys.
Peace.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, cool.
All right.
So how
was the time on that?